Hello, Gemini. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Cachet Tarot. It doesn't show it created by, but it does give a publisher top of that publishing. I think it's publishing. It's there. .com. Feel free to check that out if you're interested. Supportive Oracle cards. Queen of the Moon Oracle by Stacey DeMarco. This website is rockpoolpublishing.com.au. A as in apple, U as an umbrella. Okay. I had cards fall out while I was shuffling, which I'm very intrigued about. Wheel of Fortune. Sometimes Gemini does really well with the Wheel of Fortune. Let's see. It looks like you're gonna, but let's see how are you gonna get there. Ooh. Two of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Something that's going to be yours free and clear. Okay. This is in the environment. It's the King of Cups. Doesn't have to be a romance thing, even though you have the King of Cups and the Two of Cups coming at you here. But whatever it is that you're connecting to, there's definitely a person connected to it. And there's a lot of information that comes your way at once. I feel like when this happens, though, I'm very excited. It just reminds me of like finding a subject and finding this table of context on like a website and going, wow, there's all these websites connected to this website, and I can go to this and that and find out all this information. It's that type of thing. Like there's so much to discover. I don't know if it's all going to be good, but there's bound to be at least some of it that's going to be worth my while. This is how it feels. Could be romance, doesn't have to be. Doesn't have to be. Somebody bringing you information. This is not somebody who's new to your life, by the way. This is somebody who maybe has been more conservative. No, I don't think that's the right word. More reserved. When it comes to you, they've been more reserved and they haven't really... I don't feel like you've had much communication with them. Or when you have had communication, it was just basically what needed to be said and that was it. Nothing more, nothing less. I don't feel like you realized that this person had so much possibility because they didn't really communicate with you. And because they didn't and they seemed to just kind of go away, I don't feel like you expected a lot from them. Not in a bad way. You just didn't like really pay attention to it. This has not been an energy that has been like a problem for you. You just didn't think it was going to go anywhere else because of the way they like just came in, said what they needed to say, and kind of walked away. You kind of thought, well, maybe that's just what they're about, and that's fine. They just didn't pique your interest to like think deeper into it. Does that make sense? I feel like that makes sense. But you liked them from the get-go. It's not that I don't see any problems with them. You just didn't think there'd be much else going on there. And now they're bringing you information, and they're bringing you a lot of it. You're like, did not see that coming. You got the Temperance card here. I like the way this card is for your reading because it's showing that Ace of Cups right in this angel's hand, and it's the Temperance card. So that's not usually Temperance usually has two cups going back and forth. This one showing one is kind of like I have something in this cup that I was totally not expecting, and it's just really like exciting me. It's a very interesting card because Temperance is the opposite when it comes to like the astrology aspect. Sometimes talks about Sagittarius. This is the opposite energy of Gemini. When this first comes in, it's very intriguing, but the question is, what's there? Doesn't mean it's going to be for me, but what is there? And I just feel like I'm just like so excited about it. Again, totally didn't see it coming. Totally didn't see it coming. Just didn't see it coming. Not in like a, ooh, wow. It just kind of like, wasn't really thinking of that. Totally wasn't thinking of that. There might be some type of divination thing coming forward your way too. So, when this information comes forward, and this is the King of Cups, this person can be psychic. I feel like this person might say something to you that it's kind of like, oh, that's interesting. Wouldn't that be interesting? Wouldn't that be funny if that happened? and then it happens. It's going to be something odd. It's almost like, oh, we got all this stuff going on tomorrow outside. Can you imagine if we ended up getting a really bad thunderstorm just out of nowhere and just we had to cancel it? And you're like, well, it looks like it's good on the weather looks like the forecast says it's going to be clear and sunny. So wouldn't that be funny if that happened though? It happens. Something like that. And you're just like, oh, that's interesting. You might be dealing with somebody who has some psychic ability that's kind of like trying to clue you in that they can do that every now and then. It just kind of happens. Just keep that in mind. I mean, you're watching a tarot reading, so you're probably okay with that. You're probably okay with that. This person, they have so many possibilities for you. Your energy can match them. This is a very complicated person. So I feel like they have a lot of levels. You probably have a lot of levels too, in the sense of like, they're not all intellectual, but they're not all emotion or whatever. Like, how do I explain this? Usually, like, Gemini does well with other air signs or fire, except for, like, Gemini get along with other Gemini, but they have a hard time getting things moving forward. Otherwise, they get along with other Gemini. The only other problem would be with the fire. Sometimes Gemini and Sagittarius, well, a lot of times, they go very well for a long time, and then poof, things blow up for whatever reason. The reason I'm bringing that up is, though, is because I'm getting like a water energy, like a psychic energy, which typically Gemini doesn't match with water very well. They become too clingy or too emotional, and it becomes difficult for Gemini. But this person has a mix of intellect and water. They don't have to be a water sign, but there's something about that I feel like you're going to match with this person a lot better than you expect. For example, this is one of those people, like, say normally you don't mix well with Scorpios. Just say maybe you've just noticed that. But this person's a Scorpio and you really get along with them well, and you're kind of like surprised because like you see that same energy from the other Scorpios you've known, but there's something different. There's more of an intellectual side you're not used to. So I'm just saying, this person doesn't have to be a Scorpio or water sign, but I'm just saying they're different, but they have this similar flair to them that makes them very interesting to you. With this person, let me be sure, because I'm seeing a good card come in. Yeah, they're kind of a leader energy. 8 of Swords. Is it upside down? No, it's right side up. And the High Priestess. With this person, you might end up getting yourself kind of locked into something. The 8 of Swords makes me feel like I'm locking myself into something. I'm curious what it is. Could be something in a relationship sense. If it's a romance thing, yeah, relationship. You get yourself locked into it somehow. Business, whatever it is, you seem to be. It's almost like if it's a business thing, it's almost like we're both signing a contract that we're going to work at this certain place for a long time or something like that. There's somehow you're getting yourself locked into something with this person. This person is more of a leader energy. They seem to lead things forward. They're going to pull you forward into things. But I do get this 2 of Cups, like they're really good for you. Behind it, I've noticed they got the 8, no, it's the 9 of Pentacles. 9 of Pentacles. They're very self-sufficient, but they include you in on stuff. Whatever it is they're including you with, you're going to have your piece of the responsibility. They're going to have their piece of the responsibility. You might be surprised where this goes. I'm getting, like, even for Gemini, I still think you might even be surprised where this goes. It's almost like, well, I didn't think I was going to do that. I never thought I really wanted to do that. This person comes into my life. Possibilities happen. Next thing I know, for example, maybe I never thought I'd own a house. All of a sudden, with this person, I'm now owning a house. Wasn't even sure I wanted to do that, but here I am. And with their help, they're holding up their half of the bargain, whatever that is. As they hold up their half, you hold up your half. It's very separate but equal. I don't know why that works, but it does work. Because I feel like you're locked into something with this person. They do their part of the responsibility. You upkeep your side, and it's kind of like we have separate lives and we have this connection together. It doesn't have to be romance, but I keep feeling it. So if it does, great. If it doesn't, don't worry about it. If it fits in that category, but it's kind of like if it was gonna be a romance, it's kind of like we live together and we have certain things we do together, but then we both have separate lives outside of our relationship, and we both have things we do out there. So I don't feel like I'm overly enamored with their affection, but I don't feel like I'm completely lacking in it either. And they seem to be very happy with the way this is going too. It's weird. I don't really want to read it like a romance because it can be anything. It's a journal read, but it does keep kind of going there. You don't feel stifled. You don't feel stuck. You don't. You have more freedom than you're used to in this type of situation. It may work for you quite well. I feel like this is one of those things where I didn't think this was going to work for me. I didn't think I would do this. But now that I'm doing it, it's working a lot better than I thought it would, and I'm very comfortable with it. This seems to be coming forward. This person coming forward with the new ideas, again, I feel like they just completely passed me by. I never thought that they had it in them. It's just one of those things where I just never thought they had it in them. I just didn't really give it a lot of thought. They didn't really trigger me to think about it. And then it just keeps going from there, and I just feel like this is one of those things where it was there the whole time, I just wasn't paying attention to it. And now that it's showing itself to me, I'm like, this is really cool, and I like it a lot more than I thought I would. I'm involved in something that I really didn't think I was going to do. This reminds me of somebody years ago, it was a person I knew, and I blurted out something about having kids, and she looked at me, she's like, I'm not having kids. And I was like, oh, we'll see. I don't know why I said it, I was a lot younger then. And next time we worked together in another place years later, she had 2 kids. And she just kind of gave me this look like, you did this to me. I'm like, I didn't, I swear. But it might be one of those things. I'm just throwing that out there. It's just random information for the fun of it, I guess. Anything else here? All right, I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.